Hello there, Webber here, and today I'm going to be showing you a mod called the Much TNT mod. Now I did do a video on this ages ago, but back then it only had 10 new TNTs, and now it has about 35. Just ignore the fact that there's actually 36 here. That's because I wanted to make it look nice, so I've had an extra TNT here. So that one and that one are the same. But anyway, I'm going to go through these one by one, showing you what they all do. And some of these actually have unique twists where they don't just like blow up the land, they do other things, which is kind of awesome. But first off, I'm going to show you the new ore that this mod adds, and this is sulfur ore. So in front of me, I've got some sulfur ore here, and it's basically a way of getting sulfur or gunpowder, whatever you want to call it, without having to kill creepers and get their gunpowder drops. So you can just like mine this and get I think it's about 4 sulfur from doing that, and you can just find this randomly generating, and it has the same like rarity as gold, so you'll be able to find it as often as you'd find gold. So there you go. But anyway, I'm going to go to the first set of TNTs now and show you what they all do. So first up we have the 5 times TNT, and yes, this is as simple as it sounds. It's just basically 5 times bigger than a normal TNT explosion, so we're just going to explode it now and see what lovely crater we get. Maybe shouldn't have exploded it right by a lake, but there we go. You see we've got a nice little 5 times bigger crater than a normal TNT block. But next up we've got a 20 times TNT, which I think we should detonate in the middle of a village, because I'm really nice and I want to murder all these villagers. He's looking at it like, oh no, why are you standing there? That is right by the you're just going to die. Okay, bye villager. Boom, yep, he died. And the wells erupted all of its water everywhere, but there you go, that's 20 times TNT. And next up we have the 100 times TNT, so it's getting a lot bigger now. So this should be 5 times bigger than the 20 times TNT, so you can imagine these craters are going to be starting to get huge. So let's see how this one does. I'm going to be running out of space soon. I think I'm reaching the shoreline. But anyway, there we go, it's a good explode, and boom, look at the size of that crater. What mass devastation that is. Then again, it is a good way of clearing the land of grass and dirt if you don't like that, I suppose. But next up we have the 500 times TNT. So this one's going to be humongous, and I'm probably going to get loads of lag by doing this. But there we go, I'm going to place it down and place down a redstone torch. And let's see how long it takes to explode this one. So there we are, it's just exploded, and whoa, look at the size of that crater. It's a bit messy really. I mean, if you did that in the middle of a city, you'd absolutely ruin everything. I'm not telling you to detonate this in the middle of a city, that's a bad idea. And that sheep is just waiting to be punched. There we go. Okay. Random sheep impression. But anyway, next up we've got the Meteor TNT, which I think is actually the biggest and most destructive TNT in the mod, because it has a massive crater and it actually has a really cool shape to it. I think it's perfectly spherical crater, like a actual meteor would be if it was spherical. So anyway, I'm going to place this down, probably over here, and see what the size of the crater is. So let's detonate this, and this one actually has like a render of a meteorite coming in and then crashing the ground, so you'll be able to see that soon hopefully. I'll just point like that, and there we go, you can see the shadow of the meteor anyway, and you can actually see the flame shadow as well, and now it's lagging, but when it updates we'll see a massive lovely crater, which is kind of awesome and has an awesome shape, so there we go. So there we go, I think it's finally upgraded? What's upgraded? Oh, I don't know what I'm on about there. It's finally updated, and there we go, you can see we've got a massive crater, and it's not loading, so I can see all the caves. Come on computer, load up. There we are. Right, there we go, look at this crater. How amazing is that? Perfectly spherical as well. And it's still not loading, but you get the message. That is one huge explosion, and look at all that fire as well. You don't want to put that anywhere near a forest, because you'd probably set the whole forest on fire as well, which would not be good. But anyway, next up we've got the flat bomb, and convenient I'm in a place that's really flat, which doesn't help. But oh, there we go, there's a hill, so I can test it out on this. So I'm just going to go over here and place it down here, and it should flatten off all the land to the level that the TNT's detonated on, so all of this hill should be gone in a certain radius. But there we go, it's been flattened, and that Kel's like, what happened? Oh no, but there we go. So that's the flat bomb. And next up we have the mining flat bomb. It's quite similar actually, but instead of just like flattening the land, it actually places torches down everywhere to make it bright. So I'm presuming this is the main use of this, is to put it underground, so you can mine out a massive area of land. But then again, you don't get all the drops from the mining, so it'd be a bit pointless really, unless you wanted to build an underground base really fast or something. So there you go, you can see there's massive amounts of torches everywhere. It's actually flattened a large area as well, which is kind of awesome, but there you go. But finally, in this set of TNTs, we've got the compact TNTs, so I may as well do this one over here. And although it just looks like a small little TNT block, you'll see what I mean by the fact that it like multiplies and there's tons of TNT. So once this explodes, you can see it spawns loads more blocks of TNT and lots of fire as well. So those TNTs explode like that, and it's like raining TNT practically. And there you go, we've got a massive crater, so from one small TNT block we've got all that. Devastation. I think it looks quite cool. It's a lot better than just using the 20 times TNT, which has a similar sized crater, and there you go. So that's pretty much everything for this set of TNT. So next up we have the 3 different kinds of house TNT. So first up we've got the normal house TNT. So let's just build it here by a village, conveniently placed. And this should build like a house kind of thing, and I'm going to stand here so I spawn inside of it. So there you go, we've got a nice little cobblestone house with some windows. I think it'd be cool if these were actually glass panes instead of just glass, but there you go. We've even got a weird entranceway, no door. Doors are too expensive, so we'll just have a fence gate. But there you go, so that's the normal house TNT. And next up we have the wood house TNT, so I'm just going to spawn this and place down a torch. So it's going to create a house for me now, and it should be wooden, and now I'm stuck in the door, but there we go. Did I actually place down a bed then, but it didn't actually place, yeah. So it gives you a bed as well to place down, and this one's actually just a wooden version of the cobble house. So it's pretty much exactly the same design, and there you go. And finally we've got the brick house TNT. I'm wondering if this will be the same design too, or maybe we'll actually have a door this time. So let's spawn this house now. And there you go, yep, it's the same design, but we've actually got a wooden floor this time. And it's made of brick, and we've actually got a chest in this one, which is kind of awesome. But as well as a bed, so there you go. That's all the house TNTs. So next up we have the fire TNT, and this one just sets everything in a radius on fire. So if we spawn this one now and detonate it, you can see it has an awesome particle effect as it's like charging or priming, and then it explodes, and we've got a massive area of fire in a nice circular radius there. So imagine if you detonated this in a forest, you'd cause a lot of devastation, as the whole forest would actually be set on fire. But next up we have the snow TNT, which is convenient really, since we're going to be like putting snow down. So if we detonate this now, there we go, it should put out all the fire by spawning snow everywhere, which would be brilliant. Let me just get rid of that redstone torch. But there you go, some of the fire's been put out because it actually spawns an area of snow around wherever it detonates. So there you go, that's the snow TNT. And next up we have the ocean TNT, and look at this perfect spot to test this out on. And basically what this does is spawns a massive ocean wherever you place it. So if we put it down there, it's going to spawn an ocean in this general area here. And there you go, and it also spawns some squids, because everyone likes squids, not, but there you go. So if you wanted to murder some squids, you could just spawn this, and there you go, some free squids to kill. And that's everything really for that TNT, nothing special. And next up we've got the Hellfire TNT, and this one's really awesome, because it just spawns loads of lava and fire and everything, but I'll let you see for yourselves what it looks like. So I'm just going to place it in this lovely, I think it's a Mesa biome or something like that, but no, I'm going to place it down here, next to this lovely red rock or stone, and look at those particle effects. The actual entity itself is on fire, which is kind of awesome. That's some crazy particles, and I hear gusts. Yeah, there we go, so you can see we've got nether stone, or netherrack, or whatever you call it, and we've got fire and lots of lava as well. And if I was actually in normal mode or easy mode, there would be gusts spawning around here as well, but I don't want to deal with those. And there we go, so that's the Hellfire TNT. Next up we have the Vaporized TNT, and for this one I'm going to need to find some water somewhere. So what better way to do that than place down the ocean TNT. So there we go, I'm just going to set this off again. And I forgot to mention the awesome particle effects around this one earlier as well. So there we go, it spawned a nice little ocean here, so we can actually test out the Vaporized TNT. So if I put down the Vaporized TNT here, and then detonate it, you're going to see that this water will magically disappear. There we go, you see, basically what it does is removes all the water around it, as well as lava. It also works on lava, so if you want to get rid of lava, you could just go over here for example and place down one of these and detonate it like that, and it'll explode and the lava around it will disappear. Just to prove that, you can see that the lava has disappeared, and some bit of it over here too, but you'd have to place it quite close to the lava, so make sure you don't fall in while trying to get rid of it. And there you go, so now on to the next set of TNTs. So the next kind of TNT is the Ender Bomb, so we're going to place this down and see what this one does. Let's get my redstone torch here and set it off. There's kind of a pathetic particle here like the redstone torch, but there you go. Whoa, okay, I did not expect that to happen. How far did I get fired then? And now I appear to be in a marsh, but let's hopefully try and get back there. It's taking quite a while, and see what it actually did. I don't think it actually does anything. Maybe it just teleports me away, and that's actually the use of the Ender Bomb. So if you want to get to a faraway location, there you go, you can just use the Ender Bomb. Yeah, it hasn't actually done anything, it just blasts you out, which is kind of awesome. But anyway, this is a perfect place to actually set off the next TNT, which is the nuclear TNT. So if we just place this down here, and see the devastation it causes when we detonate it. And first of all, let's just set it to morning, so it stays daytime. There we go. So it's going to detonate now, hopefully. Is it going to? There we go. And whoa, I've got blasted away again. I'm getting quite used to that now. Keep getting blasted away by the TNT. Shows how powerful it is, really. And you'll start to see we've got this green stuff here, which is nuclear waste. And this is actually what's dropped as a result of the nuclear blast from the nuclear TNT. Look at the massive mess it's made. And look at all this. It's got rid of all the dirt and the trees have just disappeared. And there's horrible green stuff everywhere. And that's pretty much it for the nuclear TNT. And it also has a massive radius, so it destroys a lot of stuff in a massive range as well. But let's go over here. And look, there's a witch's hut there. Interesting. But anyway, let's go over here and set off the next TNT, which is the digging TNT. So if we place this down here and detonate it. So let's see what happens. So it's going to explode, and there we go. Dug a hole straight down to, well, not to bedrock, but it digs a hole straight down. So it's a good way of quickly having access, like, hole down to a cave or something. So you could just use this to try and find caves, I suppose. And there you go. But next up we have the drilling TNT. And I wonder what this one does. So if we just place this down here and explode it here and see what happens. So there we go. Is it going to explode? Yep. And this one appears to make a massive hole down to the bottom. Oh, look, there's a dungeon here. What's in the chest? Oh, an enchanting book. Aqua Affinity. Very convenient considering there appears to be a pool of water at the bottom. But basically this digs a hole straight down and then spawns some water at the bottom like that. And it goes straight down to the void. Had to just check it was at the void there, but there you go. So if you want a quick access route to the void, you can use that TNT. But next up we've got the ghost TNT. Now this one confused me at the start because it didn't appear to do anything. But it actually does do something. So if I spawn it here and detonate it, boom. You can see like little particle effects go into the ground, and if you actually dig down where you set it off, you should find a little cave thingy. So let's just keep going and see if we can actually find anything. There we go. You can see it makes a spherical little cave where you set off the ghost TNT. So if you want a nice little room under the ground, you could use that, I suppose. But there you go. That's the ghost TNT. So next up we have the multiply TNT, and what this basically does is enables you to get more blocks from the bits that you explode. So we're going to just explode this, and there we go. You can see we've got more drops than it's actually exploded, and we've got I think it's 2 drops for every 1 block that it destroys, which is kind of useful. It's a fast way of getting stone or dirt if you really want to get it to build stuff with. So yeah, that's the multiply TNT. But next up we have the cubic TNT, and it does what you'd probably guess really. If I set this off, you can see it's going to make a hole. That should be perfectly cubic like that. So we've got a nice cubic little hole. I'm not really sure of the purpose of this, because in the time of the detonation you could probably have made this yourself, but there you go. It's there if you really want it. And next up we've got the erupting TNT, and yes, this is probably the most awesome thing in the mod, because it just erupts TNT and it rains down on you. So it's basically raining TNT. No, it looks so scary actually, just looking up and see loads of TNTs coming down on you. I wouldn't recommend setting this off in survival because you'd die quite fast. And look, there's a nice ravine there, but there you go. So you can see it caused them a lot of devastation and it rained TNT, which just looks awesome. But anyway, next up we've got the chemical TNT. So let's just place it down here and see what it does. Let's get to my redstone torch. And whoa, it's flung into the air and gone down, and we've got those little coloured particles, and it's digging a hole straight down to bedrock again. Well, nearly at bedrock, and there you go. You can see it's made a massive hole. And this one actually doesn't spawn water at the bottom, whereas the other one did. So there we go. You can see this massive hole there. So again, a good way of getting down to the bedrock if you really wanted to. But next up we've got the floating TNT, and this one just floats up whenever you set it off. So if we detonate this one now, you can see it's gradually floating up, and this one it's just going to explode in the air, isn't it? Yep, there we go. And whoa, I didn't expect it to do that big an explosion. And there's that little red chicken over there. I think it's a rooster or something. I don't know, but there you go. So look at the massive explosion that one caused. I'm guessing you didn't expect that. I was just expecting when I first set it off, just like a little tiny tinned explosion in the air, like a firework. But nope, it causes a lot of devastation. But there you go. So next up we've got the freezer TNT, and I'll just place it here. So we've got some water to test it out on as well. So if we just detonate this one, it's actually going to turn all the blocks around it into ice blocks, I think. So if it explodes now, yep, there we go. So you can see it's converted all the dirt and stone and stuff into ice blocks, and the water remains the same, so it doesn't actually affect the water, but there you go. I was actually expecting when I first set it off for it to freeze water, but nope, it just freezes the land solid to turn it into ice, which is a bit weird really, but there you go. And next up we've got the timer TNT, and yep, this is basically just a TNT. That's a timer, so it like changes colour of TNT whenever it like gets closer to detonation. So first up we've got the green TNT, and then soon it's going to turn to a yellow TNT, I think. There we go, got a nice yellowy orange TNT there. And next up we're going to get the red TNT, and then it's going to explode. So it's kind of awesome really. It just shows you when it's going to explode, and there you go. So it's a bigger explosion than normal TNT, I suppose, with that one. But next up we've got the reaction TNT, and this one's quite laggy, and it's a bit interesting actually. It's not really apparent what's actually happening, but you can see the devastation it causes. And there we go. Whoa, I mean, what is going on? I mean, some of the land disappeared, and then it wasn't disappeared, and there you go. It's all still updating, and there's some lava there, and I really don't know what went on there, but there you go. It caused a lot of devastation anyway, and it had some really cool particle colours as well. So there you go. That's the reaction TNT. But next up we've got the animal TNT. And yep, this one just spawns animals when you detonate it. So if you want a supply of animals, you could just use this. I wonder how they're all squeezed into that one TNT block. I mean, that must be kind of painful to be all squeezed into that one block. Let's do it again. Imagine all of those animals compressed into that one little block there. Whoa, that's some contortionist stuff there, isn't it? But there we go, it's exploded, and there's loads of mushrooms and wolves and stuff like that. So there you go, quick way of getting animals. And if you want some cats, there's some ocelots there too. But next up we've got the sand firework, and this one, you can probably guess what this is just going to do. It's just going to fly up into the air and explode into loads of sand blocks, and there we go, raining sand, just to mess up your world. I mean, how ugly does that look now? And look how much it rained down on it. It's like massive radius that did. So yeah, that's the sand firework. But next up we've got the floating island TNT. So yeah, it's basically what it says on the tin again. I mean, it's just gonna explode and cause a like floating island in the air up there. There we go. Look at that amazing floating island. And it's actually exactly the same as the area around where you detonate it. So you can see this is mirrored the bit below. But because this is a biomes of plenty biome, some of these blocks don't actually exist in normal Minecraft, so this mod doesn't know what to do with them, so it just turns them to stone. But there you go, if it was actually vanilla Minecraft, this would look identical to the bit below it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this set of TNTs. On to the next lot. So next up is the custom TNT, and I'm presuming by the name that you can actually like configure this in the config file of the mod or something to make it whatever you want it to be. But anyway, I'm going to see what it does by default. So it's just going to flash loads of different colours of TNT, and it's going to explode. And we've got a nice little crater with flames everywhere, so there we go, that's what it does by default. And I think I'm going to burn the forest down, which isn't ideal, but oh look, we've got a village. Perfect to test out the next TNT, which is the Easter egg. And I'm presuming this is like an Easter egg TNT, which is just like a bit of fun. And it's got an interesting colour scheme, and oh look at that, it has like words. I don't know what that actually says. If you can read that, you're doing better than me. But there you go, maybe it's the name of the mod author or something, but there we go, you can see the TNTs are going everywhere. And whoa, look at all that melon and pumpkins everywhere. It appeared to like duplicate 3 times in a row and then spread out in all directions, and we've got nice melons and pumpkins everywhere. So if you really wanted to farm these melons and pumpkins, you could use this TNT and get an unlimited supply of them. So next up I'm going to be showing you the different kinds of dynamite that this mod adds. So in addition to the normal TNT blocks, you can actually get dynamite and craft that as well. So first up I'm going to show you the normal dynamite. So if we detonate this over there, and just by doing this by right clicking like that, you can see it like makes little explosions everywhere like you'd expect dynamite to do when you throw it. But next up we've got the 5 times dynamite, which is basically just 5 times bigger than the normal dynamite explosion. There you go, so we've got a nice little crater there, and again you can spam this everywhere and destroy everything, which is awesome. And look at those sheep. That sheep appears to be in the ground. Doesn't look too happy there. Oh actually no, he's not, he's just in a little hole, but there you go. But next up we've got the 20 times dynamite, so sorry sheep, but yes, sorry about that. Look at the size of this crater, you can spam it everywhere and cause massive devastation. Yep, there we go. How awesome is that? You can actually use this like dig down to the bedrock or something like that. Look at that massive hole, but there you go. And next up we've got the dynamite times 100, so yep, these are getting quite big now. Let's throw that over there, and whoa, look at the size of that crater. Don't want to do that too many more times because my computer won't thank me for that, but there you go. That's the 100 times dynamite. And next up we have the 500 times dynamite, so if we spam a few of those over there. I don't know why I did 2, that was a bad idea. And whoa, look at the size of that crater. Let's just fire that again because it's kind of awesome. And there we go, look at the size of that explosion. And next up we've got the meteor dynamite, which should be even bigger than this. Whoa, this is going to lag a bit. Let's just spam it over there. Maybe going to get another meteor falling down maybe. Yep, there we go. Look at that. That's a perfect shot of it. You can see the whole meteor, and whoa, that did a lot of damage. And look, there's a cave down there and a mine shaft. But there we go. So that's the meteor dynamite. It's pretty much like the meteor TNT, but maybe a little bit smaller and in a really small bite-sized form, so you can spam it everywhere. And finally, last but not least, we've got the chemical dynamite, and this is basically like the chemical TNT, but in a dynamite stick kind of form, so we can just spam that down there. It's just going to make little holes as far down as it can reach, really. There we go. And look, another ravine. I seem to be finding a lot of those today. But there you go, that's pretty much everything for the Too Much TNT mod. I think I've shown everything now. And yep, this is perfect for destroying everything in your world. And anyway, I'll see you next mod video.